Hey, how you doing guys? This is ZedEye here. So today I wanted to share my experience once again that I have actually replayed Ghost of Tsushima. Now this time I have replayed this game on a director's cut for the PlayStation 5 specifically, so I had all the advantages already, and that's including that I actually have played a New Game Plus mode. So yes, this is my basically third time replaying this game. And I ended up going for a platinum trophy, and yet I still replay the game again just for the heck of it. And you know what? It just brought me to my attention that how much I absolutely love this game. Like this game, the way it does things, it simply is incredible. I don't know if it's just because it is a PlayStation exclusive game, or perhaps maybe it is simply that fantastic. Now, when I mean the terms of PlayStation exclusive games, we already know that would mean quality. So, you know, Sucker Punch has done wonders with this game, right? I played this game through, and of course I can see tidbits of a little bit negativities that I wanted to point out. And you know what? I'm gonna mention them right now because I feel like Sucker Punch can definitely, improve on these, and they can definitely make even a better masterclass game with its inevitable sequel. So of course I want to mention regarding of playing as a ghost character. I'm just curious to see how could they improve on that. I think they need to polish it more. For example, when you're trying to climbing on the rooftops, they can feel somewhat sluggish and it's kind of fixated, and you can't go on certain rooftops that you perhaps could climb. And also climbing in general itself, that definitely needs work, and maybe a lot more diversity would be nice. Grappling hook could actually definitely use some more expansiveness as an example, that you can actually hook on more things. Kind of Iki Island DLC actually utilized that pretty well in certain degree. The only thing you really did is just pulling things down so you can actually make a little bridge for yourself to pass through. But of course I'm talking about more than that, perhaps using a grappling hook against your enemies, pulling them to yourself or you to them. I think they can definitely kind of think around this kind of mechanic. Now, I've already touched on that when I said climbing on the roofs. Something about that feels very sluggish, and basically I want that to be a lot more fluid. For example, as well, Jin should actually land more like a ninja, right? And so he should be a lot more agile. And perhaps maybe with time, and perhaps again with the sequel, he will be far more experienced on that term, and obviously he'll have far larger arsenal. Not to say that he doesn't already have a big arsenal, because he really does. And one more thing as well, I hope that the story will actually feel more linear, right? I'm not talking about in terms of the open world, obviously it has to be open world game, but linear towards like the mission after mission needs to kind of connect properly. Because I've noticed that in this Ghost of Tsushima, you can actually have 3 to 4 to 5 different side stories because you're helping out different side characters, but while also doing main quests. Now that's not necessarily, it's not new in that term, right? It's been introduced in many other games, but I kind of feel like they need to connect a little bit better, or obviously this will mean more work for the voice actors and writers to involve this. For example, if you don't develop through the story, or you do, right? Say like you already, in this game, you finish up with the story and you have to address and kind of talk to this character while you're in the middle of a side quest, like in terms of what has happened through the story. Otherwise it would not make much sense. You see, like maybe that's why I'm saying like perhaps we hold off on the side quest until you finish the main quests, like all of them. But again, that's just my opinion. Of course it's not, that's like a very niche thing for me, and I think it can, they can be addressed with anything regarding that. I feel like there's also necessity to have a substantiality towards your armor. Like for example, if I'm wearing a ghost armor, obviously people should recognize me as a ghost. If I'm wearing a samurai armor, perhaps maybe people should recognize me as a samurai, kind of like that. But again, because there's so many different varieties of armor, maybe it will be quite difficult to pull that off as well. But either way, like, man, the way this game has already done and everything that it has just is simply incredible. I love the fighting, the gadgets utilizing of that, and also bow and arrow, like putting all of this within the combat is simply incredible. You can have different stances as well, and basically utilizing on specific enemies and their weaknesses, exploiting that, having poison as well, making sure that the enemies go nuts, like with berserker darts, or like I say, poisoning them as well. It simply is incredible. I like that diversity. Definitely makes you feel more than just a samurai, feel like the Ghost. And I hope that perhaps, I don't know if it's even that necessary, I kind of hope that Jin Sakai will have an adventure towards something else in the future of the sequel. And there's been a mention already multiple times within Ghost of Tsushima, the mainland, and perhaps maybe that's where the next adventure for Jin Sakai will be. But again, he's been branded as a traitor for samurai, so how far can he really go? Like, otherwise perhaps he may end up have to kill a lot of samurais as well, because obviously they'll try to kill him, right? So obviously he'll have to defend himself, but again, because he's a ghost and samurai have no love for ghosts, so they're gonna do anything necessary to make sure that they put down the ghost. But of course, because it's true, I like what Khan said. I'll try not to spoil too much because the game is still relatively new, So basically, samurai are very predictable, right? They only go by their honor and just go straight up to the enemy's faces. They never go stealthy. But Ghost, he has no limits. Like, he can go anything, he can go anywhere, and he can do anything. Even though he has the best qualities of the samurai, but he has more. He's the best qualities of the samurai, the thief, right, the thinker, and also the strategist. And there's more to it. And it's just, I think this does it very well. You can actually see portraying that within the story. You can see how Jin Sakai becomes more diverse, how he becomes more kind of open-minded, and I really like that. And I'm just curious to see how far can he take this to. Maybe in the next game he may end up dying off, I don't know. Perhaps maybe he'll find a happy ending. Maybe he finds a woman for himself, has a kid or something. But again, I just don't see that happening with his storyline. And actually, I looked this up. Jin Sakai, I believe he's 30 years old, so he's very young. So he's still plenty of adventures to go through, and maybe even going for a trilogy of Ghost of Tsushima. And hell, thinking about that now, Ghost of Tsushima, this is based in Tsushima. So perhaps maybe the next game that presumably will be somewhere within the mainland, perhaps they call it like Ghost of Mainland or whatever it's going to be called, that area. So it's going to be interesting how they can actually get big with this game. I just wanted to have a little bit of discussion regarding Ghost of Tsushima. I'm just reminiscing about it. Like, it's such a fantastic game. I came back to it, just wanted to play something phenomenal. And I did, and it just brought my mood up again. It's also mainly the reason because there's been so many kind of samurai, ninja, Japanese era setting games coming up now, like Assassin's Creed codename Red, Rise of the Ronin, and many more, of course. And so I'm just like so looking forward to these games, and I'm just hoping something similar like Ghost of Tsushima did. And if that actually does become the case, oh man, I'm gonna be very happy camper. Alright guys, that's all I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion regarding this phenomenal game. And do let me know what you think about this game as well. Like and subscribe, see you guys all later, and have a wonderful day.